What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and we're here with a full UFC 3 career. In UFC 1 I did a full MMA fighter. In UFC 2 we done a complete boxer with limited MMA skills. So for this career I wanted to do a submission specialist, a jiu-jitsu king. So please welcome Tony Morgan. We don't aim for unbeaten in this career. I aim to have a good career, something you guys can enjoy watching where the time just flies by. We've gone for the middleweight division, as you saw, and just some key characteristics of Tony Morgan. Killer submissions, super dangerous on the ground from any position, relatively weak hands and kicks. While he does use them kind of well, he's not going to put together 500 punch combinations. He's not going to get crazy highlight reel KOs. It is tough because everyone in UFC 3 has dangerous hands and dangerous feet just because the knockouts are relatively easy to come by. But the other characteristic I wanted to add to this character was weak takedowns. So if I shoot for a bunch, all I'm going to do is drain myself. So the opportunities pretty much are going to be wait for my opponents to make mistakes, or get dropped, or happen to drop someone with leg kicks, or I sweep someone's leg and I'm able to get on the inside, jump onto their guard and make them tap. So that's kind of the characteristics of Tony Morgan. This was definitely a fun career. Like I said, UFC 3 is a pretty solid game, but you can literally be the most dominant boxer in this career. You don't really have to struggle too much. And I went for a 28-year-old starting his MMA debut from Orlando, Florida, with the social media handle Tap or Snap, which I thought was pretty cool. And yeah, so without further ado, guys, obviously in UFC 3 you start with the WFA. And like I said, we don't aim for unbeaten. We only aim for the title. It doesn't always mean that we win it, but that's just what we do. So without further ado, guys, let's jump in to this career. Our WFA contract, which is just, as many fights until you get on the Dana White Contender Series. We get the first victory there. Pretty slow start that was, so we got him to the ground and ended up making him tap with the Kimura. The second fight was actually against a boxer who shot for a takedown, which was very interesting. I honestly didn't expect that. We got him with a Japanese necktie, perfect submission there, making him tap 2 first-round finishes, and then we end up the Dana White Contender Series. So I was like 1 win away from being in the UFC already at 2-0. This was a pretty good fight. You can see me use my stand up a little bit. Obviously, relatively weak. Get some nice ground and pound here. Really made him my bitch in this first round. Not the strongest ground and pound in the world, but I tried to use the heavier shots that may drain stamina a bit more. He does shoot for a takedown and he does get it. But he made a mistake and I got in a submission, but he was able to get out. So I was able to lock in another one at the end of the second, but he was saved by the belt, which is just typical, really. We ended the third round. I rock him with a nasty shot there and end up locking in a rear naked choke after dropping him, which earns us a new contract with the UFC, a 5-fight contract under the rookie ranking. First fight in the second round. It's against a very experienced boxer, but was able to make him tap. Ended up having actually 0 money, so I wasn't able to train. So it was a pretty realistic UFC experience to have 0 money. It was yeah, I really felt like I was a true UFC fighter there with being that broke. And this time I wanted to get a stoppage here. This was my goal for this fight. I wanted to get a stoppage. Once I was able to transition, tire him out, use my ground and pound, and there we go. We eventually get that stoppage, which is just great to see. Nasty drop there as well in my next fight, and a knockout. That's 2 knockouts in a row. But I had to get back to my submission ways with the go-go platter, which I just love to see. And then it was time for the rival fight, which I just couldn't believe. This motherfucker has stats all better than me. He's 3-6 right now. You just can't make this shit up. You really cannot make this shit up. But at the end of the day, record regardless, they gave him really good stats. So I was just like, okay, I'm 7-0. He's 3-6. Let's just get in and just put this. Let's just put a show on for this fight. It's only a 3-round fight, and yeah, I want to stand for a little bit. This is what happens a lot of the fights. I just stand a little bit, use my jab. Not the best striker in the world. Try and just get them to miss. Throw a few jabs and straights, things like that. Just get it working. And yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good stab. He goes for a takedown here in the second round against the cage, and I'm able to block it and defend it here, and then lock in this lovely standing guillotine to go to the ground and lock that in and tap him out. You can see I sped it up here for you guys, so you can see. But yeah, we lock in that. We lock in this guillotine, turn him over, and make him tap to end the rivalry. Prospect 4 fights. We're currently 8-0, I want to say, and we're going to earn another rival, which is Sam Alvey. When would Sam Alvey talk shit on Twitter? Okay, regardless, Sam Alvey is our rival. Very odd, but I suppose it is what it is. Yeah, it was very odd. Sometimes it just lately the social media angle in this game is just over the top, in my opinion. But we go into our next fight here, and as always, we're just going for a bit of stand-up. You'll see what Morgan does. He moves around a lot. Not the best. You can see missing easy punches, but, you know, I like to use I don't just want to keep shooting for takedowns. Like I said, pretty weak takedowns Morgan has here. Getting this clinch, and, you know, try to work a little bit. Oh, he drops me there, but I'm back up. And yeah, I'm just, you know, using my stand-up, you know. At the end of the day, pretty much what I noticed with the pattern in this career was I always lose the first round. But he did end up dropping me, but it didn't matter because we were able to lock in the triangle choke. And we get our first big fight here, David Branch. He was also unranked, not the best record, but pretty good stats. It was good for us to get a bit of experience here and kind of work around, you know, a top middleweight at this point. And he shoots for the takedown, which I couldn't believe, which I actually stuff. And then this one, he actually gets me. But I lock in the Kimura on my way down, which is only a 2-stage Kimura with 15 seconds left on the clock. Not sure if I'm going to tap this one in, if I'm going to lock it in. But with 7 seconds left, I lock in the 2-stage Kimura, which is just lovely. And then we get 14-0 Paulo Costa. And I'm 10-0, so it's 24-0. Someone's O must go. Lovely leg kicks to start. Oh, look at that, you know, drops me. Tries to hit me with the big overhand. I'm able to stuff it. I'm backed up against the cage. Hits me with those 2 shots. I'm sure I can recover, but I can't. And that is it. Take the L. But it is time for our rival fight against Sam Alvey. Tough to take that loss, but it's time to bounce back against Alvey here. And we're just gonna work around. We're just gonna work around jabs and straights, jabs and straights, jabs and straights. He gets stuffs that leg kick, you know. That's fine. That's fine. Just, you can see we're having a bit of a stand-up exchange here. He's definitely got that experience. I'm holding him down here in this second round. And you can see I'm just holding him down, just beating the fucking life out of him. But he's able to just, I don't know, he's just able to just stay alive. It's a very frustrating fight, this. Here is not a situation I want to be in. Try to get into that full guard, which is where I'm able to get to. And he postures up and gets up there with 2 minutes left on the clock. Obviously, as always, guys, I just show you the you know, not really the highlights, just little snippets of each fight. And then also I'll show you guys the decision, because this one actually does go the distance. Our first decision fight, 24 seconds left on the clock. He gets out of my Kimura attempt. Absolutely devastating. That really was. I was gutted.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score the contest 30-27. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Smiling Sam Alvey.
Well, there have got to be few things.
Pretty tough defeat, you know. I mean, my takedown attempts were awful. 30-27 across the board. I was dropped, outstruck, couldn't get any takedowns going, barely had more control time than him. Just a tough loss, you know, all in all. But we go back to the ways, and we're 2 losses on a bounce now, and he was saved by the bell as well. A lot of people get saved by the bell. So we're back, and I need to prove that I can strike. That was my goal here. Really, this guy's a bloody mess, you can see, and absolutely pieced him up this fight and just locked in this lovely arm triangle after piecing him up on the feet. Next fight, early in the first, lock in a Kimura. Back to the winning ways. Now it's time for a second rivalry fight against Sam Alvey. Because for some reason he's still talking shit, which fair enough, he beat me, I know. I've improved a lot since this fight. I'm not going to waste my stamina trying to get takedowns. I'm going to pinpoint and pick my shots much better than the first fight. Of course, Sam Alvey is still very tough in this game, and he is my rival, so he's even tougher for that reason. But we've got 10 seconds left in this first round. Land a nice head kick there. And we go to the second round. And we lock in this armbar after putting him down. And there we go. Actually successful on the ground with Alvey this time. Alright, after beating that rival, new contract has been earned. And this time our rival was Vitor Belfort. But we are currently fighting Rashad Evans. There's a lot of legends I want to take out, Rashad being one of them. And we lock in a lovely guillotine and make Rashad Evans tap. Never get in my guard, boy. That is the lesson that he learnt there. And we get our first main event slot against Jacare Souza. And it was short notice as well. I only had 2 weeks to train, and I wasn't actually allowed to train because I had to do promotional stuff. This was a good fight. This was a good fight. As always, you guys will see just snippets throughout this fight. And, you know, the first round, I felt like I held my own. I held him down. I was trying not to gas. The second round, I was working my jab and straight really well on the feet, denying transitions on the ground against him. You can see me just backing him up constantly. And that worked a bit of a treat as well. Gets a takedown for me there, but that is what it is. And back into the half guard, so I'm able to reverse that, so right away. Third round, he does rock me. That was tough. I got rocked a couple of times. I was able to rock him at one point, but he definitely took that third round, I would say. But, you know, obviously you guys aren't seeing the whole round. It rocks me again there, which is tough, but I got a good chin. The fourth round, just holding him down, just trying to be more aggressive on the ground and really kind of bully him around. And that's pretty much what I done this fourth round, was just held him down, just landing these little shots, denying his transitions, landing a few more shots, denying his transitions. That just worked a treat. The fifth round, again, held him against the cage, held him on the ground, jab and straight across the board. Just a really good fight, you know, all in all. And it was a close one as well. I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. I felt like I'd won 48-47, to be honest. But like I said, I wasn't sure. Getting a submission in the last 30 seconds here. So I'm just this was my goal. I wanted to finish the fight. I wanted to, you know, say, you know, we had a good fight and I was winning and I would have won like 48-47, but
5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score the contest 49-46. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Morgan!
Well, he didn't get the finish. He has to settle for the decision.
But I'll take 49-46 against Jacare. That's pretty good. Next fight was against Anderson Silva, which made him tap by the armbar, which you saw there. And then a TKO victory over Vitor Belfort. The dude was 31-24 at the time. I had to push him into retirement. We get a Machida fight. Easy tap there. We're heading towards the title fight at this point. We're steamrolling our way through the competition. Kelvin Gastelum gets rocked with probably the first head kick we ever threw and landed. And then he gets put into a brutal arm triangle and is forced to tap. Now, we steamrolled through a shit ton of legends. Silva, Belfort, Jacare, Kelvin Gastelum, Machida, who else was it? Rashad Evans, a bunch of legends. Now it's time for the Bisping title fight. Now, I went into this fight. You guys will see this is the only time you guys will see the training. At this point, he was 40-9, so fucking hell of a fucking win to loss ratio there. We went into this fight with a shit ton of injuries. You'll see there, -13 submission defense, -3 submission defense, and -6 chin strength, which was just brutal, really. But you know, I knew I had what it take to beat him. So let's get into it.
Fighters fight for many different reasons. Some do it for the fame, others do it for the money. Eventually, all of that fades away. Yet going down in the history books as a UFC champion is something no one can ever take. It's proof that for a moment in time, out of all the fighters in your weight class, you were the best in the world. It's the culmination of all your hard work, the fulfillment of a dream. Tonight is your chance to take that gold belt and hear Bruce Buffer say, "And new." That kind of glory lasts forever.
So the first round, on the feet, it was pretty even, to be honest. When it was on the feet, like I said, it was even, but for the most part, we just held him down. I didn't really have to do much to him. I just held him down, got into side control, side saddle, top mount, back mount. Just held him like where I wanted him, really, and it was worked an absolute treat against him, really. Tired him out. I mean, he had good stamina anyways, but we were able to tire it. And then you can see here, second round, yet again, same position, just holding him down, just bullying him. The exchanges on the feet, like I said, were pretty even, pretty good. I realised that I had a really good check counter hook against him. He was open for a good amount. He would exchange on the inside, and I'd throw the lead hook, and it would always catch him. So I knew that was going to happen on the feet, but I knew that I could definitely hurt him on the ground here, which is what I'm doing with these shots and elbows from side saddle, which is what we done for the first 2 rounds. We literally just held him down and just bullied him, but he was resilient and he stayed alive. You can see in the third, we're also just holding him down, beating up that body a bit. And like I said, that is pretty much what we've done. I want to win this title in dominant fashion. I was sick of, you know, past UFC games that we've done full careers. Sometimes the title fights are close. Sometimes we lose them. And this one I wanted to really put on a show and be like, you know what, I might be the submission specialist, but I can also stand and bang with Bisping if need be. And that is pretty much what I'm pushing back there against the cage. Nice body kick, exchanging kicks at this point. Catches me with a nice uppercut as I go for a body shot, but it's okay. I'm able to stay on my feet. It's no big deal. We're coming towards the end of the third, and oh god, the perfect. We landed a few of them. You guys will see me try and land another one, I think, here, but he goes right through the guard there. Actually, bang, another hook, another check hook again. I love that shot. I just love it. When people throw and you throw that, it's just lovely. But he is pretty exhausted at this point. He's getting beaten up. Bang. Another check hook and straight. And he is out.
Out victory right as the round was ending.
Wow, Joe Rogan, you know, we see fighters all the time go for a takedown late in the round, but you don't see that every day. The flush knockout just before the final horn. The referee wisely jumping in to stop the fight. Gorgeous technique and a great job to catch the other guy when maybe he was thinking about the end of the round. Now he doesn't see it. Instead, he's staring up at the bright lights.
Let's see it one more time.
And there is the undisputed king of the 185-pounders, the UFC middleweight champion of the world, and how about the knockout to get the job done tonight?
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Deans called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 55 seconds of the third round, declaring the winner by knockout and new UFC middleweight champion of the world, Morgan.
So some UFC history tonight as we crown a new UFC champion. Congratulations to fighter and team. And man, are they going to enjoy this one. A lot of people not giving them a chance coming in here tonight. And this is a moment that at times people just thought we wouldn't see.
I was really glad I was able to get that knockout. You know, Tony Morgan was always just that submission guy, so it was good for him to get that knockout to win the belt in such dominant fashion. First title defense against Derek Brunson, who we just take down and lock in a nasty Kimura here in the first round. Can't argue with that. And I thought, you know what, I've won the title. I'm 21-2. I'm old already. Tony Morgan at this point was like 33, 34 years old. Robert Whittaker is 50 and 13. And I knew that this was my time to retire. So win or lose, I wanted Whittaker to be my final fight of my career. You know, Whittaker seemed like a good fight. Absolute legend of the middleweight division. But I felt good in this one, and I felt good in this one retiring here. My bae Megan Levy there. But we go into the fight against Robert Whittaker here. It was good on the feet, good exchanges on the feet. He was definitely winning on the feet, but you know, I landed some nice leg kicks. You can see his legs a little bit torn up there. His left leg is definitely fucked. Landed some nice shots, but he was winning the stand-up exchanges, which is fine. But, you know, I wasn't outmatched terribly by him, which is interesting because it is Whittaker. But he, as you can see there, he fucking checks it and does my leg in. In the second round, hits me with a Superman punch. But, you know, just this was a pretty good back and forth fight. You know, this is Whittaker. He's a very good martial artist, very good on the feet. And I wanted to prove that I could hold my own, at least in my final fight, and win or lose. You know, I mean, it's tough to get dropped like that, obviously. But win or lose, I want this to be my final fight. So I block, and he absolutely starts. And he postures up here from half guard. And obviously he's got nasty grammar. You can see him just wailing these shots down. This is not looking good for Tony Morgan whatsoever. But able to push it back into the full guard and deny it. Get locked in a guillotine. And at the end of the day, I was dropped. I didn't really want to stand with him anymore. To be honest, I don't want to shoot for a shit ton of takedowns. This is my opportunity to lock this in and make him tap. And this was off his own back. He decided to jump and try and ground and pound me. People clearly didn't respect my submissions. And yet again, I'm victorious. But it's tough on the feet. Lucky to get in that submission because he was ground and pounding me and it was pretty vicious. But all in all, a good fight and a good career. While I was only 22-2, I think for the middleweight division, we fought some pretty good fighters. Obviously, losing to Sam Alvey and losing to Paulo Costa. Getting revenge against one of them. Beating David Branch. Beating Sam Alvey eventually. Obviously, like I said, losing to Costa, which was a shame. And then we were able to beat Rashad Evans. Beat Jacare Souza. Who else did we beat? Oh, Anderson Silva. Vitor Belfort. Latoya Machida, Kelvin Gastelum, Michael Bisping, Robert Whittaker. So all in all, a pretty good career that I cannot be upset with. While a lot of them you could argue were past their prime, I just want to check who the next fight was, but I'd already decided that I wasn't going to be bothered about the super fight. You can see there, unfortunately, I didn't get a fight Weidman, GSP, Rockhold. I could have fought Rockhold, Yoel Romero, Tim Boach, Dan Henderson. Paulo Costa was rank 11 at 19-2 at this point. There was a few I didn't get to fight there. You know, I didn't get to fight Izzy at 19-0 because he was ranked 14. But all in all, at the end of the day, you can't fight everybody in your division. So, you know, I was happy to call it quits here and call it a day, to be honest. You know, only going to decision twice, losing one, winning one. Good amount of submissions, a good amount of TKOs or you know, KOs. And yeah, you know, not something I'm really upset about. Being knocked out as well and losing on points, but then coming back to win over and over and over again was a pretty good feeling, to be honest. Oh, and we beat Derek Brunson. So, you know, I suppose, I don't know if that would really class as a good win, but we'll have to see. But I really enjoyed it. You know, had pretty good stats. I think I was 90 for stamina, 90 for health, 90 for ground, and 69 for stand-up. So you can see my stats there. Pretty good stuff for the GOAT status thing. But I really enjoyed this career. I hope you guys did as well. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you did. UFC 4's full career will be coming at some point as well. I've got something really unique to do with UFC 4. I'm going to change the way I do these for the UFC 4 one. I'm going to use as many of the UFC 4 features as possible to make the career as interesting as possible. So yeah, it should be good, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have, like I said, drop a like, subscribe down below. Tony Morgan, 22-2, really good career. Obviously, you know, probably retired earlier than he needed to, but you know what? He was coming up to about 35 years old. He'd won the title. He had seen what happens when people stay too long, like Bisping and Whittaker did. Those guys were too old to be fighting me in this career. So he didn't want to be that guy. He didn't want to be the next BJ Penn who was on a bloody 7-fight losing streak. He just needed to call it quits, and that's what he did. So I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.